Welcome to lecture number 8 on the course Python tutorial for beginners. During this lecture, we are going to learn various built-in functions that are allowed to apply on lists and are supported by Python programming. Python supports several built-in functions that can be used on lists. Such functions are append, which is used to add an element at the end of the list; clear function, which will delete all the elements from your list; copy function, which copies the elements of one list to another list; count function, which is going to count the number of elements in a list; extend function adds all the elements of one list to another list; index function returns the index value where a specific list is; insert function adds an element into your list at a specific location; pop function, which removes an element from your list at a specific index; remove function removes a specific element from your list; reverse function, which reverses the order of elements in your list; and finally the sort function, which arranges all the elements in your list in ascending order. Let us try to understand all these functions by taking simple examples. See how append function works. Already we know that append function is used to add an element into the existing list. Let us take one simple example and try to understand how append works. For this one, I am creating a list with the name cars. In this one, I am going to assign three values. One value is Hyundai, another value is Maruti, and the third value is Honda. Means this statement is going to create a list with the three elements. Let us see, is there any error in this statement? We don't have any error. Now try to use the append function and add an element into the existing list. That can be done like this. You see, cars dot means I want to add the element into cars list by using a method or function called as append. What I want to append, that is Suzuki. Means I want to append the value Suzuki and press the enter button now. We didn't got any error too. That means that there is no problem in the two statements. Let us try to see whether this element has been appended into the list or not. That can be done by printing the list of elements present in the cars list. Just you write it as print cars and press the enter button. Now you see at the end Suzuki is added. That means that when you use the append function and add some elements, the element is going to add or append at the end of the list, or you can say that as a last element in the list. Simultaneously, we will take one more example to clearly understand how append is going to work. For this one, again I am taking one more list with cars. The same values I will take Hyundai, Maruti and Honda. This is one list I am taking, and I will create one more list, cars 2. In this one I am going to write Suzuki. Means now we are having two lists, one list with three elements and another list with one element. Now we will try to use the append function in order to add these two lists. For that one I can write like this. You see, cars 1 dot means I need to append cars 2 to cars 1. Okay, this will be the statement, and now you press the enter button to see whether is there any error in the statement or not. Okay, fine, we don't have any error. Then go for the print statement to see whether this append function has worked or not. For that one, print cars1. Here you see why I am writing it as cars1. Why? Because the result of append function is going to, you can see in the cars1 list but not in cars2 list. If you use the print statement for cars2 list, then you are going to see only one element, that is Suzuki. Now we will try to see the example for clear function. We know that clear function is going to remove all the elements from the list. Now before that, we will try to verify whether cars1 and cars2 are having any lists or not. Simply for that one, you can mention it as like this, cars1. Okay, cars1 you are having some elements. Now what I will do is, by using the clear function, I will try to remove all these elements from the list. So I will write like this, cars1 dot clear, and this function will not take any parameter. Simply you press the enter button. Now we didn't find any error, but we will try to verify whether clear function has worked or not, simply by printing the elements of cars1 list. See, we didn't found any elements, means clear function cleared all the elements of a list. Then we will try to demonstrate how copy function is going to work. Copy function copies all the values in a list to another list, means the elements of one list will be copied to the another list. Let us try to see how it is going to work. For this one, I will try to take the same example what we have done before. You can use copy and paste to reuse your code. There is no problem in that one. Now here we are having a list name as cars with 3 elements again. Now what I will do is, I will make this list as cars1 and press enter. Then I will create one more list called as cars2. But here I am not going to assign any values to it. Rather, I want to copy all these 3 elements of cars1 into cars2 list. Then I have to write like this. You see, the list, the elements of cars1 to be copied. To be copied. Where I am asking to copy? To copy into cars2 list. Then you press the enter button. As there is no error, let us try to see whether copy is performed or not by using the print function. Print cars2. Here, as the result is assigned to cars2 list, we have to use print statement for that one only. Then simply press the enter button. Now you see, automatically after performing the copy function, the elements of cars1 is copied and they have been placed in cars2. This is the way how copy function works. Now let us try to see how count function will work. Count function, as we know, it is going to return the number of times a specific list element is repeated. Means, for example, if your list is having some elements which are repeated for multiple number of times, then this count function is going to tell how many number of times that specific element has been repeated, right? For that one, let us see some example. Here I will use list of values. That list of values I will write like this: 1, 2, 3. I will mention 1 again, 3, 4 and 5. This is the integer type of list. And now what I do is I will use a one more variable, that is repeat number, repeated number. I want to see the number repetition, how many number of times a number has been repeated. Now I have to write like this: list value, and values of list. In that one, I want to count how many number of times one is repeated. How many number of times one is repeated in list val. Now you press the enter button. Then in order to see the output, you have to use the print statement repeat number. Then you press the enter button. That means that one is repeated for 2 times in this particular list. Means by using count function, we can easily identify them. Next, we will try to see the demonstration of extend function. Extend function is going to add all the elements of one list to another list. For that case, I will take the same example what we have done in the previous example. I am copying the same list, that is cars1, and also I will use cars2 also. Okay, now we are ready with two list items. Now what I will do is I will try to extend the first list. I will try to extend the first list by using the extend function and adding the values of second list. Means by adding the list of elements present in the second list, I am extending the first list cars1. Means the expected output for this one will be a list with 4 elements. Let us try to see the output. Print. Here the output is stored in second list. That's why I have to write it as, first list. Means I have to write it as print cars1 and press the enter button. Now you see the list is with 4 elements. Next we will see the index function. Index function is going to return the index value where a specific list element is. For example, I want to know where Honda element is available in the list. Means I want to know what is the index of the memory location where Honda has stored in the list. For that one, what I can do is index val equal to, means index value equal to, here in which list I want to search. I want to search in the first list, that is cars1, right? What I want to search? I want to search for the index. Index of what? Index of Honda element. Means after identifying the index of Honda element in cars1 list, the result I want to assign it to index val. Let us try to see if is there any error here or not. We didn't find any error. Now to see the output, to see the index of Honda element, simply use the print statement and write it as index value or index val and press the enter button. The answer is 2. Means at the second index the value Honda is available in the cars1 list. Next we will see insert function. Insert function, as we know, it is going to add an element into a list at a specific location. Already we know that append is also going to do the same thing. Means append function is also going to add an element into the list, but it is going to add at the end of the list. But here by using a insert function, you can add an element anywhere you like. For example, you want to add the element in the first index, that you can do it. Right? Let us try to demonstrate the concept. For that one, I will take the similar kind of example, that is cars example. Okay, I am creating the list one more time. Now what I will do is I will try to insert an element. I will try to insert the element into the cars list by using the function called as insert. Insert, now where I want to insert? I want to insert the element at the first index. And what element I want to insert? I want to insert Suzuki. I want to insert Suzuki, right? Try to see the outcome of this statement. We didn't found any error. That means everything is fine. In order to see the output, means we need to know whether insert is successful or not. For that one, simply you print the list, that is print of cars, and press the enter button. Now you see in the index number 1, Suzuki element has been added. The next function is pop function. Pop function, we know it is going to remove an element from a list at a specific index. Means by mentioning the exact index position of a particular element, you can delete an element from a list, right? I'm repeating once again. You see, pop function is going to remove an element from a list at a particular index. Now we will try to do that one. I'm writing it as cars dot pop. I want to pop. What I want to pop? I want to pop or remove an element which is present at the index 1 and press the enter button. Means what it has popped? Suzuki has been popped. Let us see whether it is removed from the list or not. Once again, you try to print that cars list. See, in this list, Suzuki is not available. Means pop function has removed the Suzuki element from the index 1. Similar to this one, there is one more function called as remove function. Remove function removes a specific element from a list. Let us see the difference. You see, you try to understand the difference between pop and remove. Pop function is going to take the element, the value of the list, but not the index. But pop function will perform the deletion or removal by taking the index of an element. Now what I will do is cars dot remove. I will try to remove the element. What element I will try to remove? Honda. I am trying to remove the Honda element from the cars list. Okay. Now let us see the output. Simply print the cars list. That is print of cars. Here you see, you are able to see only two elements. Means Honda element is successfully removed from the list. The next function is reverse function. Reverse function is going to reverse the order of elements in a list. Right? Let us try to see that one. Means here reverse means the first element in the list will becomes the last element. The second element will becomes the last but one element in the list. Right? For clear understanding, let us take the same list once again here. Okay. Now what I will do is I will try to reverse this one. Cars dot reverse. It's not necessary to pass any parameter to this one. Why? Because it is going to reverse all the elements in the list. Means the output should be like this. The first element should be Honda, second element should be Maruti, and the third element should be Hyundai. Let us see whether we are getting the same output or not. Okay, to see the output, let us try to print the list. That is print of cars. Fine, Honda came in first, Maruti second, and Hyundai third. This is the way how reverse function is going to rearrange the order of elements in the list. And last and the final function is sort function. Sort function arranges all the elements in a list in ascending order. Let us try to see that example. Already we have created the cars list. No? On that one only I will try to apply the sort function. Cars dot sort. Here even sort function is not also, it is also not going to take any parameter. Why? Because it will sort all the elements in the list but not one or two. Just you press the enter button. We didn't found any error, right? Let us try to see the output. Print cars. Here the output should be Maruti first, Honda next, and Hyundai should be the third element. Why? Because it is going to arrange the elements in ascending order. If it is the strings, it will arrange in the alphabetical order. Fine. You see. Now what happened? The sort has given the output for you, that too in a proper order. Hope you understood how built-in functions in Python are used. We will come back in the another lecture.